Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really cool. The secret to making an AI truly yours. It's a technique called fine-tuning, and it's all about how you can take a super smart, general-purpose AI and turn it into a specialist, a master of your world. So, you've probably had this feeling, right? You're using one of these powerful large language models, and it's amazing, for sure. But it doesn't get your company's inside jokes, it doesn't know the specific formatting for your project, and it definitely doesn't have your unique voice. It's a generic genius, and what you really need is a specialist.
And that right there is the generalist AI problem. You see, these models are trained on, well, basically the entire internet. This makes them absolutely incredible at one key thing: predicting the next word. They're just phenomenal document completers. But because their knowledge is so wide, they're kind of a master of none when you need them to nail your specific niche task.
Think of it like this. A base AI model is like a raw diamond. It's got immense potential. It's incredibly powerful, but it's still rough. To make it truly valuable, to turn it into a polished gem you can actually use, it needs to be cut and shaped for a very specific purpose. And that shaping process, well, that's fine-tuning.
You know, maybe a diamond isn't even the best analogy. Let's try this one on for size, because I think it makes everything click. Imagine your AI is a world-class chef. This chef graduated from the best culinary schools, knows every technique in the book, and has a huge menu of dishes they've already perfected. This is exactly what fine-tuning is. You're not pulling this expert chef aside to teach them how to boil water. No way. You're taking all their incredible talent and just handing them your family's secret recipe book. You're teaching them a new, specialized skill that's based on a small, unique set of instructions, your recipes.
This really puts all the options into perspective. Training an AI from scratch? That's like sending someone to culinary school for a decade. It's incredibly intensive and expensive. Just prompting an AI, that's like ordering off the chef's standard menu. It's quick, it's easy, but you're stuck with what they already make. Fine-tuning, though, that's the sweet spot. You get to leverage all their existing expertise, but you teach them your secret recipes.
So you might be wondering, is it really worth the effort to teach our master chef a new recipe? And the answer is 100% yes. Because this is the moment where you go beyond what's just on the menu and start solving problems that a generic AI could never handle.
There are really three big reasons to do this. First off, consistency. You need the AI to adopt a very specific style, like talking like a pirate, or always output its answers in a strict format, like JSON code. Second, knowledge. You need it to understand your private internal data, stuff like customer service logs. And third, efficiency. You can create a smaller, faster, cheaper model that does one thing perfectly, instead of paying for a giant, expensive model to do a simple, repetitive job. And just on that point about style, you gotta love this example. One developer actually fine-tuned a model to answer everything like a pirate. Ahoy! It's hilarious, sure, but it's also a perfect illustration. It shows you can change the fundamental behavior and the entire persona of the AI.
Okay, but none of this works without the secret ingredient. For our chef, it's the recipe book. For our AI, it's the data. And the quality of that data, well, it's going to determine absolutely everything. And listen, you really can't overstate this. All the experts agree. Data quality is king. The final performance of your custom model depends almost entirely on the quality of the examples you feed it. It is the ultimate case of garbage in, garbage out. So how do you actually prepare this data? It's basically a simple three-step recipe. First, you gather high-quality examples of what you want. You need at least 50 to 100, but thousands is even better. Second, you format everything into simple input-output pairs, like a question and its perfect answer. And finally, you put all those pairs into a consistent template, so the AI can easily spot the pattern you want it to learn.
Okay, but wait a minute. Fine-tuning a model that has billions of moving parts? That sounds incredibly expensive and slow, right? And yeah, it definitely used to be. But this is where a modern breakthrough comes in, a technique called parameter efficient fine-tuning, or PEFT. The most popular version is called LoRA, and honestly, it's a total game changer.
And this chart shows you exactly why LoRA is so incredible. With old-school fine-tuning, you'd have to retrain that entire purple circle,
all 100% of the model. With LoRa, you just freeze that giant model and train this tiny little blue sliver, a small set of adapter weights. We're talking less than 1% of the original model. The result? You get that specialized AI, but for a tiny fraction of the cost and time. This is what makes fine-tuning accessible to almost anyone.
But let's go back to our chef one last time. What if you don't need them to learn a new skill? What if you just need them to read a new cookbook to get some facts? Well, that's a different job entirely, and it requires a different tool, Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. This is probably the single most important distinction to understand in this space right now. Fine-tuning actually changes the model itself. It modifies its internal weights to teach it a new behavior or a new style. RAG doesn't touch the model. It just gives the AI a new document to read before it answers your question. So, to put it simply, you fine-tune for style, you use RAG for facts. So, what does this all add up to? Why does any of this matter to you? Because techniques like fine-tuning are about way more than just technology. They're about changing who gets to create the future. What we're seeing is nothing short of the democratization of AI. For years, building custom AI models was something reserved for tech giants with massive budgets. But now, with these efficient fine-tuning methods, anyone, a small business, a researcher, a single developer, can take a generalist AI and turn it into their own personalized powerhouse. And that leaves us with one final thought. This technology puts an incredible amount of power directly into your hands. So the question is, if you could build one perfectly fine-tuned AI assistant for yourself, what would you have it do? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.